Good morning, everyone. Namaste. We're going to call in Archangel Michael to cleanse the space, to clear out all negative and lower vibrational energy from our mind, body, and soul, home, and hearts. Placing the white light of protection around us with his blue seal, as well as I'm going to call in Archangel Raphael and Saint Germain in the Violet Flame. We're going to be doing a trigger warning today, guys, for PTSD and depression. So if you're not prepared for that, that's okay. Go ahead and scroll. So we're going to be reading out of The Body Keeps the Score. It's Brain, Mind, and Body Healing of Trauma. So it says, we don't want to know what soldiers go through in combat. We do not want to know how many children are being blanked, abused in our society, or how many couples, almost a third it turns out, engage in violence at some point during their relationship. We want to think of families as a safe haven, as a heartless world of our own country, as a populated, enlightened, civilized people. We prefer to believe that cruelty occurs only in faraway places, and it is hard enough to observe to bear witness to pain. It is any wonder that the traumatized individuals themselves cannot tolerate remembering it, and they often resort to using outside things such as alcohol, etc. Tom and his fellow veterans became my first teachers in my quest to understand how to live shattered by overwhelming experiences and figuring out how to enable them to feel fully alive again. So, trauma and the loss of self. The first study I did with the VA started with systematically asking veterans what happened to them in Vietnam. I wanted to know what had pushed them so over the brink and why some were broken down as a result of that experience, while others have been able to go on living their life. Most of the men I interviewed had gone to war feeling well prepared, drawn close by the rigors of basic training and the shared danger. They exchanged pictures of their families and girlfriends, and they put up with one another's flaws. And they were prepared to risk their lives for their friends and family. Most of them confided that their dark secrets to a buddy and went as far as to share them with others' shirts and socks. Many of the men had similar relationships to Tom with Alex. Tom met up with Alex, a guy from Malden, Massachusetts, on his first day in the country, and they instantly became close friends. They drove Jeeps together, they listened to the same music, and after 3 months in the country, Tom led his squad off a foot patrol through the rice paddies and just before sunset. Suddenly a hail of things occurred negatively. Tom told me about how he had looked on a helpless horror as all members of the platoon then were deceased. He would never get an image out of his mind back, and Alex, I'm not going to get into all that. So it says, maybe even worse for Tom than the reoccurrent flashbacks of the ambush was the memory that had happened afterwards. I could easily imagine how Tom's rage about his friends and family that he had been a part of in combat had allowed it. I'm trying to cut out some of these words, guys, because I'm not trying to completely traumatize everybody. So it says, in later years, I encountered a similar phenomenon in victims of children of abuse. All right, I'm not going to get into all that. So essentially, guys, it's the flashbacks that are occurring that are really difficult for them to live with. And I know that because when I forensically interviewed children for child abuse for 5 years, I still to this day, I quit doing it in 2017. And I still to this day, I'm constantly having cases brought to mind, and it doesn't even really it can be really anything that brings the case to my mind. I remember the child, I remember how it made me feel. So it's very real, and if you are experiencing that, it is very important to get in a really good trauma therapy program, and then also work on the mind, body, and soul through Reiki and, you know, journaling and hypnosis, and maybe even acupuncture. Unfortunately, it's a full body experience because your whole body is retaining that information and that trauma. So I hope that helps. I love you all. Have a blessed day. Namaste.